Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt. It's 2020. It's a brand new year. I'm excited to, come out with all these new videos for you guys. This video in particular, we're going to talk about the best ways to start investing in your 20s. As I'm sure you know, the earlier you start investing, the better. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example, a bit of a story of why investing earlier is actually a lot better than starting too late. So Max, the 25-year-old, saves $5,000 per year all the way through age 35, earning an 8% average annual return on the investment or his stock. Now, John, the second 25-year-old, actually waited until the age of 35 to start investing and stashed away $5,000 until the age of 60 for a total of 25 years. So that investor also earned an average of 8% in annual returns. By the age of 60, Max actually had a total of $615,000 from his savings, from a total of investment of $55,000. By age 60, John had accumulated around $430,000 after a total investment of $130,000 after only 10 years of investing. What we can learn from this example is that Max, the first 25-year-old, actually earned $183,000 more than the second investor, John, all just by saving 10 years earlier and starting to invest. So just by that example alone, you can see that investing earlier is way better. It's way better to get started earlier than waiting too late or just saying, you know what, I'm going to get started when I turn 35 or when I turn 40. The earlier, the better. Time is actually such an important factor of investing. It's actually time in essence is a lot more powerful than the money you're using, because time is almost like a multiplier in investing. And the great thing is, when you're in your 20s, you can actually reap massive rewards over your lifetime if you just aggressively invest early. And you can afford to be more aggressive with your investments and, let's say, go with more stocks because you have that long time in front of you. You have like 30, 40 years until you hit the age of 50 or 60. So you have just so much time on your side. So obviously, first things first, if your employer offers any sort of RRSP matching, you definitely need to take advantage of that. It is by far the most cost-effective way to start investing at the lowest possible cost, because it's essentially free money from your employer. They match a certain percentage of whatever you invest. So 100%, if you have that available to you, please take advantage of it. I would say the absolute easiest way to start investing is by using a Robo-Advisor and opening up a tax-advantaged account like a TFSA or RRSP in Canada. Or if you're in the United States, you want to look at either the Roth IRA or the 401k. I would definitely also recommend these over cash accounts in general because of the tax advantages. So essentially, after you kind of retire and you kind of withdraw money from these accounts, you won't be taxed in a few of them, right? Obviously, there's some, stipulations and differences with some of the accounts, but in general, the tax advantages of them are huge over the long run, especially when they grow to larger and larger sizes. Now, you can honestly start up an account with a Robo-Advisor in 5 or 10 minutes, maybe even less. You could obviously go see a real person, go see a financial advisor at a bank. If you like that human connection, and you feel comfortable with, let's say, talking to somebody about this. But in reality, just note that they're sometimes double or up to 4 times the cost of using a Robo-Advisor. So Robo-Advisors essentially do the same things that, a normal advisor does at a way cheaper cost. And, essentially, once you start investing, you don't really need an advisor to hold your hand. Robo-Advisors actually do a really cool thing where they kind of will send out notifications if markets are a little bit shaky. They'll kind of let their clients know that everything's fine. We're just, in a bit of a downturn or whatever. They kind of do the same things that an advisor does. They have their own kind of methods that they've brought over from a traditional advisor, and they're just doing it through technology, through their apps and stuff like that at a way lower cost. So the value is definitely a lot higher. In my opinion, you shouldn't really be paying unnecessary fees if you don't have to. But of course, if you feel more comfortable with a traditional, advisor and going to someone in person, it's better than not investing at all, for sure. So the Robo-Advisor I used when I started investing is actually called Wealthsimple here in Canada. They have an extremely intuitive app with a beautiful design. Even their website is really nice. They make it super easy to just get signed up, open up the account that makes the best sense for you, and then they'll ask you some questions about, you know, what your goals are, what this and that. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to kind of answer all these questions. And then after you answer those, you'll be recommended a portfolio of stocks that kind of fits your risk profile, or what they believe you're comfortable with. Now, to be honest, these profiles can be, you know, a little bit off. I wouldn't say they're like accurate, you know, or 100% accurate. Even if you go see an advisor, maybe they'll get your risk profile a little bit better than like one of these robo-advisors. But in general, it's important to kind of do your own assessment of what, you know, you're comfortable with. You know, really see like what you're comfortable with. If you see, let's say, money go down or money go up, do you get nervous? Does that make you emotional? You know, these are kind of things that you have to learn outside of investing. And I'll definitely make some videos on that too. But just keep in mind that they'll give you a recommended portfolio, and generally it'll be pretty close to what you're comfortable with. Now, the best part about Robo-Advisors is just, you know, pick the amount that you're comfortable with depositing every month or every year or whatever it is. And then you just sit back and relax. You don't have to do anything. It's honestly the easiest thing. You know, and I really, honestly, I don't use a robo-advisor anymore, but I miss just letting them take care of everything. You know, the fee they charge at Wealthsimple is also just 0.5%. And most robo-advisors charge around that rate. Maybe some charge a little bit less, some a little bit more. Some have different fee structures. But in general, the fee that they charge is honestly worth it for a brand new investor. For someone who's starting with a little bit amount of money in their 20s, they're just figuring out how these things work and how investing works. Their value is way up there, and I highly recommend them. The great thing about these robo-advisors is that they'll actually, you know, take the money that you want, they'll withdraw it, deposit it in your brokerage account or your advisor account, and then they'll automatically invest it for you. They'll reinvest any dividends that your account creates or your portfolio makes, and then they'll also rebalance things. So that's kind of a whole other topic of rebalancing, but it is a bit of a, you know, annoying thing, and it can be kind of cumbersome, I guess, but they kind of take care of that completely. So that's part of their fee, I guess. And to be honest, that 0.5% fee that Wealthsimple charges, so for example, if you deposit $5,000, in 1 year, you'll only pay $25 in fees, right? So it's not a lot of money they charge. Obviously that scales up as your account grows, but for just getting started and just learning more about investing, or you can just stay with them honestly for your whole life. But for just starting, they are so valuable, and I really think that, you know, the majority of people should just use them, right? If you just want a hands-off approach and you want a cheap alternative to like more of an expensive, you know, bank or advisor, Robo-Advisors, 100%. Now, I personally, you know, used a robo-advisor for about, I would say 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. And then I obviously went down the rabbit hole of investing. I started reading everything I could about it. You know, I fell in love with the whole concept of investing, of, you know, business, of equities, of how all this stuff works. And I got comfortable to the point where I kind of learned how to buy my own, you know, shares of units or whatever. When you have your own brokerage account, you can actually place orders to buy and sell these investment funds or the stocks or whatever it is. Luckily enough, Wealthsimple actually created kind of like a second app or a second service called Wealthsimple Trade. And it's a completely commission-free stock trading app from them. And I've been using it now since about August of 2019. And it's obviously, you know, just as great as the other app. It's a beautifully designed app, but definitely you have to do a lot more work. You have to actually place orders. You got to deposit your own money in your account, you know, rebalance the portfolio yourself. But what I personally do is I actually just buy Vanguard's asset allocation funds. I just buy this one simple fund over and over and over again, and that's it. I don't really have to do anything else. And to me, I know how to buy the fund. It's super easy to learn, and at the same time, I'm also not paying, you know, the fee I was before, which wasn't very much, but obviously you don't have to pay fees that you don't need to. So in regards to the asset allocation funds, I'll definitely be making a separate video on that whole topic about why I pick them and why I invest in them. Obviously, you know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to go buy these funds. You know, I'm just some guy on the internet that's just sharing his thoughts and opinions on all this stuff. Take it with a grain of salt. So in general, my personal opinion on what the average 20-year-old or 25-year-old or 29-year-old should do is just start with Wealthsimple Invest service or any robo-advisor in your area. You know, look up ones that you like and pick one and just start investing with them. You know, get a hang of what it feels like. Start with like 50, 100 bucks a month, whatever is kind of comfortable with you. And then what you can do is actually, once you kind of learn more, if you want to be more hands-on, then you can look at more of the brokerage accounts where you can actually buy and sell your own funds and your own stocks and your own securities. So what I'll actually do is I'll place the links to sign up to not only Wealthsimple Invest, but also Wealthsimple Trade down below if you're interested. And that's if you're in Canada only. Now, the cool thing is if you want to start with Wealthsimple Trade, let's say you know a little bit about investing, you're comfortable with being hands-on. If you use the link down below and you, let's say, deposit and actually trade $100 at least, you'll get $5 and I'll get $5, just to be transparent with you. Now, kind of like an ending to this video about, you know, investing in your 20s and stuff like that. Another kind of tip that I'm gonna say is the other huge way you can actually like invest in your 20s is actually investing in yourself. And I know that's probably very corny, investing in yourself. You probably heard that before, but honestly, just by, you know, reading more, listening to more, you know, information or books or whatever it is, you'll actually be able to absorb more information, learn more skills, and actually become more valuable. You'll become more valuable to whoever you work for, or if you want to start your own business, you'll become more skilled in that, in whatever area you want to do. So I highly recommend, you know, I'm a big fan of constantly learning and growing and all that. So I recommend, you know, getting a Kindle, which I have, and I use Audible as well. I listen to Audible, I think, almost every single day. Just by taking a small portion out of your budget and buying, you know, a couple of books a month or even one book a month, you know, you could learn something in a $20 book that, you know, could change your life compared to, you know, one semester or 1 year at university. I know for me, like the stuff I've picked up in books I've read, they've had crazy impacts on me and the way I think and the way I see like investing in the world and everything else. So definitely you hear like that all the time from older, you know, successful people, like invest in yourself, right? Like, you know, take courses, like learn stuff, learn as much as you can, constantly learn. And obviously the more skills you have, the more valuable you'll become. That's definitely a topic, you know, I can expand upon for a long time, but we'll definitely save that for another video. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video on, you know, the best ways to start investing in your 20s. Again, you know, go the traditional advisor. Robo-Advisor is more cost effective, and of course, you can do it yourself if you want to be more hands-on and if you learn more about it and if you're comfortable. But I recommend Robo-Advisors for the majority of 20-year-olds who just want to get started. I think that's where you'll see the easiest method and you'll get the most value for your money by doing that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. It helps me spread it to more people and I would really appreciate it. Until the next video, guys, take care.